shortstop for Mitchell. So Todd Belton out to short. And here we go, Jesse Grief. Don King has taken over on the pitcher's mound. He was the DP to begin. So Kyle Linton out after 3 innings. Kyle gave up 6 runs. Or after 2 innings, Kyle gave up 6 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors. So it was tough for Kyle. Basically walked a lot of guys, especially in the first inning. Really struggled with his control, and that kind of led to those big innings. Don King fouled off behind us here. So we're back at it. Contact information on the screen. Chris Abbott over at field 1. They are 7-6 right now over there on the other field. On Big Thursday, of course, we started this game, the major storyline being 5 teams all at 2-2. The push for the double elimination games. But right now, it is the weather, and everybody just hoping we can get these games in. Dark clouds ominously rolling around overhead once more. Over on field 1, the Fawcett's are beating the Mastodons 7-6. They're in the top of the 6th there. So the Fawcett's leading the Mastodons 7-6 over on field 1 in the 6th. The loser of that game will go to 2-3. The winner 3-2. Reeve out on strikes for the second out. Here's Nick Medvich. In there for a strike from Don King. Don King, the left-hander. Medvich struck out back in the second. And down 0-2 here. 2 quick strikes on Medvich. Medvich, if you recall, struck out on 3 pitches. Was trying to lay down a sacrifice bunt. Couldn't get them down, and then struck out on a 3rd pitch looking. Here comes the 0-2. Out in front, down on 3 swings this time is Medvich. So struck out on 3 pitches looking, and then on 3 pitches swinging. A tough day so far for Nick. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on base. And through 3, still 6-0 for the Sooke Larners. And we'll see what they do here with Scott Life. It will be Scott Life going back on the mound for the top of the 4th inning. So we're off to the top of the 4th. And they are, again, in the top of the 6th over in field 1 in a 1-run game. That has been a doozy. They've been going back and forth over there between Fawcett's and the Mastodons of East Hants, the host team, and Nova Scotia going at it. B. McLean Sports on Twitter, community1sports@gmail.com. Your contact information on your screen. Really hope to hear from you throughout the broadcasts. Shout-outs, opinions, comments. Let us know where you're watching from. For your friends of, or your fans of the Kelly's team, make sure you follow NL Fastpitch 2014. That is NL Fastpitch 2014. Keeping you up to date with the 3 Cheers Pub and Kelly's Pub here at the tournament. So here's Kelly's Pub. Looking to get something going in the 4th. And we'll start off with Dan Mitchell. Mitchell walked and was stranded at 3rd back in the 2nd. Fouls the first pitch away. So Life does go out there. Life does go on here for Sooke. They'll go out there in the 4th inning. 0-1. Mitchell still looking for his first hit of the tournament. 0 for 11 now is Dave. Check that 0 for 10, walking in the first. 0-2 quickly here. On Mitchell. That is is up high. In there for a strike. One and one, the count coming up on Mitchell. And again, oh sorry, this all over the map there on my count. Me and the scorekeeper crossed up. That is a strike three pitch to Dan Mitchell. Out on strikes. He was not happy with the call, but that is a call that, continuing back to before our rain delay, has been called consistently throughout the game. A high strike just above the belt. And therefore a strike from Don King. For Don King. From Scott Life, 0-1. The Loggers of Vancouver Island. Talked to a couple of the guys in between the games and mentioned you guys are loving it back there, so thank you so much. Glad you're enjoying. And hope to hear from you throughout the broadcast. Great to hear that you guys on beautiful Vancouver Island are enjoying the game. Craig Ford checking in from Mount Pearl. Not sure if we have a sound issue or not. So let us know if you can't hear us. If you can't hear us, you won't be able to let us know. But Craig Ford saying that he can't hear us. So if you guys can hear us, let us know on the Twitter or the email. So we get that, so we can tell Craig that that's not an issue. The 2-2. Off the plate, 3-2. One out here in the top of the fourth. Here's Don King. A shot up the middle for King. So give King a single at first base, and now will come up Dan Dalton. Craig Ford asking me if there's a hand in the middle of the screen as well. So not sure if Craig's with us or not. Anyways, if you're out there watching and if you can hear me, let me know so I can tell Craig that the end or the issue is on his end. As the wind's again picking up here. In for a ball. 1-1. Dan Dalton reached on an error. Back in the second. Dalton 0 for 3 in the tournament. Inside. 2-2. Coming upon Dalton.
Check. 1 2 1 2. Check. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2.
Now batting the third baseman, number 3, Chad Bryden.
All right, friends, welcome back, and our apologies for the audio difficulties, and special thanks to Craig Ford and Jen Hogan for letting us know. Thanks very much, Jen and Craig, and glad to be with us, or back with you here on the broadcast. You've been able to see what's going on, at least here, and you saw Chris Walushka with a triple, just absolutely roped one down the third base line, and a stand-up triple for the speedy Walushka. So the lead runner on at third, Chad Bryden out, and now here's Andrew Medwich. And Medwich, he'll line one down the first base line, and that'll score Walushka. And into second with an RBI double is Medwich.
Now batting the first baseman, number 12, Blake Hunter.
So an RBI double for Medwich. And man, oh man, Tammy Moran and Len Banner. Thanks very much for you guys for checking in with us as well. Len Banner and Tammy on community1sports@gmail.com. Thanks everybody for reaching out and letting us know about our audio problems. You guys are, a lot of cases, are eyes and ears out there. From the Bell Alliant Community Tent. Thank you, Craig Ford. Reaching out on Twitter. Community1sports@gmail.com. B. McLean Sports on Twitter. 7-0 for the rejuvenated Sooke Loggers. Slowly but surely becoming a major storyline here at the tournament. Lost their first two games. Lost their first game 10-0 to Nova Scotia. They were mercied in that game. Since then, a tough loss to finish off their day, and now they've won 2 in a row, and leading 7-0 here. So the Loggers have arrived from Vancouver Island and starting to make a statement here at the tournament. They beat the Three Cheers Pub last night, the 2-time defending champions, and now leading the Newfoundland champs from this year, the Kelly's Pub, 7-0. In for a ball. Here comes the 1-2. In there. Are actually just off the plate, 2-2. And that's going to find the hole on the right side between second and first, and coming home to score is Medwich. It's a romp. 8-0 in the bottom of the fourth. Blake Hunter.
Now batting the designated player number 8, Tyson Bankman.
How's this for a line? 2 triples and a single with 6 RBIs for Blake Hunter of the Sooke Loggers. So 6 RBIs for Sooke as the rain is starting to come down once again. And again, we pretty much called that here in the broadcast booth. Shortly, I mean, it's just one of those, you can just tell it's going to happen. They had the rain, and then the sun came out to drive things up for just a while, but you saw those dark clouds starting to come around again. And friends started to make their way to the safety of the haven of the Community One tent to get some shelter. In there, and that is strike 3 on Tyson Barkman. He'll sit down.
Now batting number 38, Brian Banner.
So Barkman out on strikes for 2 outs, and here's Brian Banner. Banner, and should he reach Todd Belton? Blake Hunter still at first base. Banner struck out and grounded out to third base. First pitch swinging here, comes up underneath. They have an absolute doozy going on over in field 1 in the 7th inning. 8-6 over there with Chris. You can see the overhead again, just like we talked about an hour and a half ago. You can see that dark cloud just above the trees on your backstop camera, and that is what we're looking at here in terms of danger in Charlottetown. Wind is gusting probably about 25-30 kilometers left to right. And that is going to be a little Texas leaguer into center field. In off the hands of Banner. Just a little duck snort that manages to find the hole. And Brian Banner will get himself a single.
Now batting number 16, Todd Belton.
So Blake Hunter at second, Brian Banner at first, and here's Todd Belton. Belton struck out in the first, popped out to the shortstop in the third. Don King out there for his second inning of work. Allowed 2 runs so far. Kyle Linton started for Kelly's Pub and just couldn't get into a groove. Had a real hard time finding the plate. Walked the first 3 men he faced, and every single one of those runners came home to score in a 3 spot for the Sooke Loggers to begin the game. Eight to nothing. Right now, the Sooke Loggers have outscored the 2 teams from St. John's 14-6 over the past 11 innings of play. Of course, St. John's has become a national powerhouse in Fastpitch. Bounce foul down to third base side. We hope to have a whole lot more Fastpitch for you today. Lots more still to come. Now, if any of you BC and Quebec fans are tuning in, your game is going to be with us here in Field 2 later on. They've had to switch that from Field 1 to Field 2. So just a heads up to any of you BC and Quebec fans watching. That hits a Mazda 3 over here. And now I'm starting to think about where I parked, which is just 2 cars up from that Mazda 3 that has a big shiny dent now on its hood. One and 2. Runners at second and first. Into right field. And making the catch out there is Strap. And the note on that is Andrew Wade, who came in to play for Strap. So Wade in for Strap. He makes the catch out there in
So for
right
BC,
field.
There were 2 runs on 4 hits.
Belton,
No errors and
now
2
0 for 3.
left on base. After 4 complete, BC leads 8-0.
4 hits, 2 left on. No errors, 2 runs scored. 8-0 for the Sooke Loggers over Kelly's Pub. And Kelly's Pub will come up here looking to avoid the mercy rule. And out there looking to finish off a shutout performance is Scott Life.
Leading off for Newfoundland, number 21, Kyle Essicle.
8-6 still over there in the 7th inning. And they just finished up. To second base, no problem for Medwich. 1 pitch, 1 out. Ezekiel out 4-3.
Now batting number 12, Mark Lewis.
Here's Mark Lewis. Bouncing that in front of home plate is Scott Life. Been hard to get into a groove here, needless to say, in this broadcast with the rain delay. And otherwise, outside of the rain delay, it's moved very quickly. Scott Life has been chugging through the Kelly's Pub. And the Loggers have put up their runs in a hurry. High and outside, 1-1. 8-6, the Fawcettes beat the Mastodons. So the Fawcettes move to 3-2, and the Mastodons will drop to 2-3. Pitch high and outside, 3-1. But so far, Scott Life, from what I have, has only allowed 3 hits. Kelly's Pub has stranded 7 runners through 4 1/3. Life has walked 2. Check that, 3. And that's going to find the hole on the left side. So Mark Lewis on board with a single. And Life has struck out
number 10,
5.
Jeff Evely.
So 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 hits allowed, and no runs for Scott Life. Through 4 1/3, trying to close this one out. Obviously, right now the onus on Kelly's Pub is just to avoid the mercy rule and keep this game alive. In there for a strike, 0-1. They need to score Mark Lewis, and right now Jeff Evely would be the run to avoid it. At the plate, 1 out. Lewis at first, and here's Evely. He grounded out to third. 0 for 2 so far is Evely. The 0-1. Oh, swinging at high gas. And coming up short, the riser just kept going on Evely. Couldn't catch up, or Evely couldn't catch up. And now 0-2. Steven Gesso to follow. Goes way up top, and holding off on the 0-2 pitch is Evely. 1 ball and 2 strikes coming up on Jeff. The 1-2. Fouls it off to the backstop. 1-2. A lot of folks starting to make their way over here to field 2 to catch the rest of this. The Mastodons coming up over here against D-backs from Saskatoon. And out is Jeff Evely after the strikeout thrown out
Now batting the first baseman, number 17.
by the catcher, Banner. So Kelly's Pub down to their final out in the form of Steven Jesso. He struck out twice. Right now, the rain holding off for the most part. That rain delay in the third inning, it was just an absolute downpour. Good old Charlottetown haymaker of a downpour. Could fill up a bucket of water for the horses in no time. And the field, we talked about it earlier this week, this field was so dry and so dusty that the field, the infield anyways, just soaked that water right up like a thirsty horse. And the field actually has settled down very nicely. We saw a lot of wicked hops in the first couple days. In there for a strike, 1-2. But right now, after they got all the sand out there and the puddles dried up, this field looks the best it has this week. Strike 3. And that'll do it for Kelly's Pub. Jesso out on strikes. The Sooke Loggers, man oh man, have they arrived at the championships. Now 3-2 with a resounding 8-0 win over Kelly's Pub.
Runs on 1 hit, no BC errors, and 1 runner left on base. The final score: BC 8, Newfoundland 0. BC had 8 runs on 9 hits, 1 Newfoundland error, and 5 runners left on base. Newfoundland no runs on 4 hits, no BC errors, and 9 runners left on base. Could the players please line up on the lines, please, for the presentation of the player of the game? Presentations will be done by Kevin Burns.
Player of the game coming up here for both teams. But the Sooke Loggers, they went 0-2 the opening day. They had a 10-0 loss to begin the tournament. Since then, they've reeled off 3 in a row.
Number 12, Mark Lewis.
Kelly's Pub player of the game, Mark Lewis. Mark had 3 singles in the game.
BC player of the game, number 12, Blake Hunter.
And Blake Hunter, no surprise here. 6 RBIs for Blake Hunter. He drove in 6 of the 8 runs for the Sooke Loggers. So what a performance by Blake Hunter, one of the performances of the tournament so far. All right, you've been watching a presentation of Bell Alliant Community One, the leader in local sports webcasting in Atlantic Canada, the 2014 Senior and Master Men's Fastpitch Championship from gorgeous Charlottetown, PEI. Our third game of the day, the Sooke Loggers defeat Kelly's Pub 8-0 through 5 innings. We have more action coming up here from Field 2, our second game of the day now from Field 2. Nova Scotia, the East Macedons will be here. They just finished up over on Field 1, losing that game to Fawcett's Pub. They'll come in here with a 2-3 record versus Saskatoon at 1-4. Goodbye for now from Charlottetown. No, go ahead, man. Yeah, whatever. The what do you got over there?
3 cheers.
Oh yeah, 3 cheers. Back. Okay. All right, buddy. See you in a bit. Yeah.